What's up, guys? Element here. We are back after, I think, 3 weeks of no episodes. We've had a huge break, but I think it's time we start continuing and giving you guys content. I'm here with Catch22. What's up?
Hey. That's all I got.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
That's it.
And then you can hear in the background, we have a very special guest this episode. It's the one and only Darkovika. If things work out this time, I think we can have her on as a regular, right?
Quite possibly. It's been a long time, right? Like maybe a year since I've been on here.
It's definitely been a while.
He's Mr. Pockets.
Yep.
Longer for the audience because listen, I'm never gonna live that down, am I?
Nope. Not at all.
Well, it's definitely been longer for the audience because, you know, they don't get to speak to you on a regular basis like we get to. But they have been watching your videos. I mean, you do release videos every week. Mm-hmm. So for the sake of the audience, how are you feeling? Because the last time they heard about you, you were kind of under the weather.
Well, I mean, technically from the podcast point of view, yes. It was a really shitty day, and I went to our exchange student's house, and I had a massive migraine when I got home, and I just could not function. It was really bad. I texted you guys and then didn't even wait for a response. I threw my phone across the room and just curled up under my bed. I was like, no, I need pure darkness.
That's understandable. Oh, you're just not popular enough.
I like how you both paused though to kind of get a response for that. Just
it's just to understand.
I had to think about it.
Yeah, we had to what? Wait, what did he say? How do I respond?
So, really quick, I'm coming off of seeing the Batman v Superman trailer.
Ah, yes.
And I'm kind of hyped up right now.
I haven't seen it.
And I know, so you'll watch it after we finish this recording, but I'm pretty pumped. And
cool.
It wasn't even Batman and Superman. It was seeing Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yes, because she looks a lot better than I expected. And, you know, I've seen Batman and Superman before, so it's nothing.
There's not a whole lot of good Wonder Woman stuff because she's usually super over-sexualized and all that.
I wouldn't say over-sexualized. I would say she's normally really manly, and so it kind of comes off as you won't want to see that.
I don't know if you guys have seen the original Wonder Woman TV show.
Okay, well then, yeah. Okay, well, okay, we go that. But I meant anything recent, like Injustice or Usual Games and stuff. She's just boobs and then biceps the size of King Kong's head. It's just what were they doing?
I mean, you know, if you think about it, she's an Amazon.
No, I completely understand. She should be muscular, but it seems like they always go very
overcompensate or not.
Yeah, it's really far spectrum style, and I'm like, okay.
I like Wonder Woman in the beginning of the Justice League, New 52. She's so disconnected with everything. This little girl comes up to her and is like, hi, and Wonder Woman's like, what is that? And the little girl's like, it's an ice cream. And she's like, I must try one. And she turns around and goes, sir, I need an ice cream. And the man's like, okay. And he hands it to her, and she's like, this is amazing, I need another one.
Another.
And meanwhile the world's being destroyed. It's great. Wonder Woman's the best.
Wonder Woman's always been that kind of character though, where she kind of comes from Superman, he's obviously an alien, but he grew up in that world.
And it turns out he's actually a major douche.
Mm-hmm. We're not revealing deep-seated emotions in this episode.
So Superman's a major jerk because he picks on everybody. When he was in a race with the Flash, they were doing this charity race, and Superman was like, I'm gonna prove to everybody that I'm faster than you, and the Flash was like, I don't really care as long as we earn money for the charity. And then like Superman's like, what's wrong, Flash? Can't keep up? Afraid you might not be the fastest man. And the Flash is all like, oh man, you know, maybe I'm not so fast. And Superman's like, what a joke. And yeah.
Yeah, he is a douche.
He's a major jerk.
Again, though, like, he's bulletproof. Like, I mean, who's gonna tell him he can't be a jerk? You know, it's like, dude.
I'd like to see him be bulletproof to some of his own, you know, criticisms.
Well, the only thing that's not bulletproof is his ego. You can easily beat that. I mean, God, Batman whooped his butt, and so he kind of was just like, well, maybe I'm not so great. And we're like, that's what we've been trying to tell you since like day one, you know?
Yeah, you're kind of.
Bring your ego down a little bit, man.
But Superman would say it wasn't just Batman.
Yeah, Superman would find some kind of excuse. I also love how they treat Batman in the first issue of the New 52 Justice League. They're like, Green Lantern is just absolutely wowed by the fact that Batman is not a superhero. Like, he's just a normal dude in a suit.
Yeah, they did that in the cartoon movies, the animated movies as well. And I couldn't help but laugh. Like, you know, Green Lantern is taunting Batman for like a full, I think, 30 minutes, and he's like, dude, like, we could all beat you up, but like, you couldn't do anything. And Batman pretty much pickpockets his ring off of him.
Yeah,
and he's just
so
like,
good. It's Green Lantern's like, hey, and Batman's like, I think you need this, and just like tosses it back to him. Oh my god, it's so good. Mm-hmm.
The almighty equalizer of the DC universe.
Green Arrow.
Batman's intelligence.
Oh, okay, that too.
Yep. Bruce Wayne's
they have
insane mind.
Awesome.
They have, like, you know, written up Batman to several, like, multiplied his strength and his attributes, you know, several times. I remember reading a comic where he was able to kind of press a 2-ton ceiling, and that wasn't just him wearing like a suit, it was just him
understanding how it
kind
works.
of it's you know,
okay,
you don't expect somebody at the peak of human condition to be able to press 2 tons.
Nope.
Not at all.
Batman's brain more than makes up for his lack of heat ray vision.
Superman's gonna shoot him with lasers, and Batman's just gonna be like, listen, I'm smarter.
Batman's gonna use like some weird mirror trick to send it right back at Superman. Well, you know, it is heat vision, and that is technically light.
Tangent.
And I'm just gonna reflect it. Yep.
Yeah.
So anyways, what were we gonna do with this podcast?
Yeah, so this episode is all about E3, even though it happened 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was my fault.
E3 weeks ago. Good, did there.
But we never got a chance.
Oh, I caught that.
Anyway.
That's Batman intelligence.
Yeah, it's Batman. It's Batman moves right there.
But we never got a chance to get Darkovika's take on E3. She's the one that went, and it was her first time this year. I know I went last year, but we did an episode top 5 E3 impressions, and so now we're gonna do the same thing with Darkovika, and the stage is yours. So the first thing I want to ask you about is, who do you think showed up the best at E3?
Well, I have to say what really excited me was probably Uncharted 4.
Nice. Kevin's sigh. The sigh of the world.
Yep. It's the sigh of a defeated
just
man.
Because from where we were when we did the E3 podcast originally, and then the subsequent conversation that we had with Monica following everyone's choice, I'm just going to be silent for the duration of Monica's E3 chat before I throw my sword into the circle.
Punches a wall.
Yes.
Basically, all right. Uncharted 4 just looked so good. It felt just like Uncharted. It played like Uncharted. It wasn't like, you know, the latest sequel that's probably going to go bad and not be very good. Like Uncharted 2 was kind of like that. Uncharted 2 was still really good. It wasn't anything special, and then Uncharted 3 was much more fun. Uncharted 4, I'm like really excited for the story. I'm really excited for the gunfights. It looks like it's going to be pretty challenging to boot. The guy who was demoing for us, he was having trouble with his company's own game.
Oh.
He almost died a couple times.
They did have problems on stage too.
Did they?
Yeah.
I was watching like a separate viewing. I wasn't at the like
conference
videoed viewing. I was at like a show floor viewing where we go into this room after waiting in line and then they play the game for us and stuff. So I didn't see the E3 videos that everybody saw. I just saw whatever I saw.
At the press conference, I think, he explains it in a later interview. He rushed out on stage, and he was kind of like in a big hurry and just grabbed a controller.
And it was the wrong one.
When they started the demo, it was the wrong one, and the player assumes control of him after the cinematic, and Nathan Drake is just standing there, staying still. Nothing's happening, and the crowd's just like, oh no. So they had to restart the demo and connect a controller, so they had a couple of hiccups.
That's embarrassing a little bit.
It looked really good though. I didn't see that video. All I saw was it working just fine. So
convenient.
It looked really good. It felt good. I heard the Uncharted music and I just like teared up. It was so good. I also saw like 5 seconds of a Kingdom Hearts mobile game cinematic. And I wanted to sit, because it was on a reel of like a bunch of different commercial videos or, showcase videos. And I was going to sit there and wait no matter how long it took to watch that Kingdom Hearts cinematic video. But my friend was like, no, we have to go in line. And he was like slave driving us to lines. And I was like, I just want to see Kingdom Hearts. And he dragged me out. So I didn't get to actually see it. I still haven't looked it up on YouTube either.
Why not? I
read that a lot of people were pursuing those badges at the Nintendo booths and stuff.
I have no idea about that. I spent like most of the first day in line for the Walking Dead virtual reality game. Like that was a good like 3 hours right there, and it was so cool. It was in the video I uploaded of E3 day 1. I never even uploaded like day 2. I just uploaded day 1. And my friend recorded me playing the VR Walking Dead. It was really cool, but like it's gonna be really scary. The way they did it at E3 was such a really fantastic way to make up for the fact that you are not actually moving, and that kind of ruins the whole visual or virtual reality experience, because obviously if your character's moving and you're not, there's still a small disconnect between you and virtual reality. What they did was they made the Walking Dead character a wheelchair. He was stuck in a wheelchair. And when they sit you down to put on the virtual reality helmet, you sit down in a wheelchair. And it was really, like, disconcerting and really just creepy. Because you have to rely on this person pushing your wheelchair. And at the very end of the virtual reality game, you get abandoned. And you're just stuck in your wheelchair and you can't escape. So you have to just watch as inevitability comes and the zombies eat you.
Wait, so you control the wheelchair?
No, you don't. You never control the wheelchair. Someone is pushing you along, and all you control is this like shotgun.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then your head turns and stuff.
When they abandon you, are you still?
You can't move
control?
you can't move the wheelchair. That was the end of the demo when you get abandoned. Oh. So you just get left. I don't know if they'll,
it's kind of like this on rails thing?
Kind of, yeah. That's the way the demo was. I don't know if the whole thing would be like that. There's probably something that would allow you to move the wheelchair, or I assume so, unless they happen to want it to be sort of like an arcade thing where you're just shooting and you're never actually like exploring or anything.
Well, if they do end up going in that direction of exploration and controlling your wheelchair, Ian is gonna be pissed.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, not to give too much away, but we are working on a VR experience, typically for Oculus, that is centered around a wheelchair.
Oh.
So
That's going to be interesting.
I'm not going to say any more on that, but, you know, he's going to be pissed when he finds out this experience is,
very similar.
You know, at least halfway there.
Yeah. So I couldn't control the wheelchair in the game, but, you know, that doesn't mean that it's going to stay that way. They may have just not got up character movement for the demo.
Right.
Well, I think any kind of scary experience, especially when you're playing, is scary, regardless.
So other than that, I actually didn't get to see a whole bunch of games at E3 because of the lines.
Yeah.
The other one that I got to sort of look at, I didn't really play it, was Harvest Moon Seeds of Memories. I didn't play it because the art style kills me. I really don't like where Harvest Moon is going right now. Like, it looks so awkward because it's still Harvest Moon. You're still farming, and you're still getting married, and you're still having kids and all of that stuff, you know. General Harvest Moon stuff. Except that the art makes it look like they're 9. And I'm not okay with that.
No, that's not okay at all.
I'm not okay with that. And the art style is just making them look younger and younger. And I mean, I can understand if they're going for the whole, well, it's supposed to be a kid's game. Kids don't play Harvest Moon. Fucking, you know, 24-year-old chicks like me who grew up with Harvest Moon. We play Harvest Moon. We're I want to play this marriage game. Like Rune Factory, that has a great art style. Story of Seasons, which was a company that broke off of Natsume, which is the Harvest Moon company. They're doing Harvest Moon because they were the original Harvest Moon people, and that's why the art used to look good. They broke off from Natsume because they finally got their own language company. They got their own localization company. And that was the only reason they were working with Natsume, except Natsume still owns the Harvest Moon titles, so they're creating their own Harvest Moon titles, while this other company, which I can't remember the name of because it's Japanese, they're creating a story, it's called like Story of Seasons, and it was pretty good, except for the tutorial. My god, that tutorial was, it took up a week of in-game time, and was about 3 hours of real time. The tutorial.
And that's going to be an hour tangent, so.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Look, last thing I'll say is it kills replayability when your tutorial is 3 or 4 hours long.
Ain't that the truth?
Damn.
Yeah.
That is a long.
Right?
Tutorials usually last like 10 minutes.
They should last like 10 minutes.
Yeah, not for Story of Seasons, and it's not skippable.
Well,
it's a no option tutorial.
That's a lesson we all have to learn.
Yep. If you're gonna do a tutorial, you should be self-aware.
Oh, you should be aware of Darkovika's, you know, attention span, because 10 minutes is the limit.
Yeah, there you go. If my attention span can't handle it, no one's attention span can handle it.
It's a good gauge. So, I mean, it's a good standard to hold designers to. I know I'm going to keep it in mind whenever I, you know, give you Left Alive. There is no tutorial on Left Alive, but...
Perfect.
Oh, by the way, for anybody that's listening, I officially announced it, and it's out there now, so... look out for that on Steam whenever that happens.
Perfect. I still have to record some lines for you. I'll probably do that after this podcast, since I have Audacity up and running.
Inside joke, you probably won't.
I will, I promise. So other than that, I walked around the Star Fox area. I didn't get to play that demo because that demo did not have like a timer set on it. So the line wait to play a Star Fox demo was like 30 minutes. And there's only like 3 people in line. 30 minutes.
Wow.
30 to 40 minutes. I had like a friend who was in line to play Star Fox for an hour, and she was just adamant that she was going to play it. And then most of what I was really excited for E3, and I know this is going to sound silly, was the YouTubers. I was combing the area for YouTubers. I was like, I'm going to meet YouTuber people and make friends, and I did sort of succeed. I met Aaron from Game Grumps, and he was really nice and just like the most genuine person ever, who's super polite and super sweet, and it was just really cool. And also
I saw the video that you were doing a call out to
yeah.
your own channel.
Oh yeah, that was for Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, the guy on the right. He's familiar. I forget who he is.
He's from Funhouse.
But he had, I think, didn't he have like a show on Machinima too?
Probably. I think a lot of people end up coming from Machinima once they realize that Machinima is not the best thing ever to work for.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. Basically, okay, so what happened was we walked up to the YouTube booth because they had one. And the YouTube booth this year, they had this constant live stream going, and it was run by Rooster Teeth this year. Rooster Teeth was basically behind the filming of it, the talk show, the hosting, the pulling up, you know, guests and all of that, and a lot of really familiar faces just working the cameras and stuff, and it was really cool to see. We had like Gus on the couch, you could see Blaine running around in the sidelines running the cameras, and that was actually a really funny part of this. So me and my friend walked up to the YouTube booth, and because I guess my friend had seen them do a shout out for another small channel. So we walked up and we said, hey, are you still doing shout outs for small channels? And it was Bernie, and Bernie said, oh yeah, totally, how many subs do you have? And I said, oh, 2,300. And he said, perfect. Well, we usually do the shout outs on like the side panel thing, because they have like a side show, I guess, and every now and then when they go to like commercial, quote unquote, they pull up the side panel to take over. He said, we normally do the shout outs on that, but that's not for a while. So how about we just have you go on the main channel live stream so it's just in front of all of YouTube? And I was like, holy shit, what? And he was like, yeah, all right, so you'll go up in 20 minutes, go sit over there, and I'll pull you up when we're ready. And then he just ran off, and I was like, wait, I'm not prepared. What? So I went and sat down. And then they pulled me up to the side where I was standing next to the Funhouse guys, who, by the way, are like the nicest people I have ever met. Lawrence was just the sweetest person ever. And freaking, I'm standing there with Lawrence and we're talking and laughing, and Blaine runs up and he's like, okay, I'm gonna flag you guys when you're gonna go live, but when you're actually live is when the lights hit you. So pay attention so you know right before you go live. And we're like, okay, cool. So me and Lawrence are still talking, and Lawrence is saying something like, yeah, I'm probably gonna miss when we go live. It'll be really funny. I'm not really used to doing these things. But mid-sentence, all of a sudden the lights hit us. We completely missed Blaine's signal, and we just stand there, and the guy, Lawrence, is like, and he just turns around and goes, hi, welcome back. Just turns really slowly towards the camera. It was so amazingly awkward and so funny. Because none of us saw the cue. We were just like, oh, now we're live. Okay, cool.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
That would explain a lot of things. I was going to leave a comment on the actual video, but I guess I'll probably tell you straight up right now. It kind of looked like you were not expecting to be there.
Yeah, it took us completely off.
And you were so you're normally very extroverted or outspoken.
But it
seemed like that was the first time that I had seen you, I guess, starstruck or kind of like shy in a sense. And then
it was
you were like,
yeah,
you were like enunciating everything. You were doing the best you could to be so perfect. Like I swear, when I heard him say, okay, spell it out for everybody, and you were like D-A-R, I was like, wow, Monica, wow.
Well, they told me to do that because Darkovika is kind of not clear that it's with K's and not C's.
Right.
So they asked me beforehand. They were like, we're gonna ask you to spell it out because we don't even know. So that's why I was enunciating like that, and I didn't want to like mess up, and I was really worried that I was gonna do what I normally do, which is spill over my words because I don't talk so clearly.
D-A-R-K, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that would have happened, I'm telling you. But it was just like I
actually would have paid to see that.
Yeah, I know, it would have been really funny. We only had a couple seconds to do it though, and they didn't want me to spend too much time up there, and I didn't want to betray their trust by taking too long. So I was like, this is going to be perfect. I'm going to be impressive, and we're going to do this right. So that was that. You should have seen me on the couch before I went up. I was like sitting there typing out what I was gonna say in like notepad on my phone and just editing it and like rehearsing it to my friend, and he was like, Monica, calm down. And I was like, no, this has to be perfect. It was really funny. That was probably my favorite experience of E3.
That's cool. I thought, you know, it's a good experience to have, and I encourage everybody to at least experience E3 at least once if you're in the game industry. Although it's not something you want to go to strictly for industry purposes. It's definitely more of a consumer show. It's more of a fangasm type of deal. Definitely. I know what I would tell to anybody that's going the first time. Plan out what you want to see down to the last minute, because you're gonna want to see everything, but then you're gonna be in line for one thing for most of a day. So, you know, I spent 2 or 3 hours on the line for Thief last year, and we only had time to just, you know, chill at the food trucks for the rest of the day, you know. So it kind of gets really hard to see everything for the first time. What would you say to your audience if they haven't been to E3 or going to E3 in the future?
I'd say the same thing, because like my first day, like I said, most of what I saw was the Walking Dead VR thing, and then after that we didn't really have time to wait in line for anything else. And the same thing happened on my last day. Also, if you're going to E3, like take time off of work and stuff, because I thought I was gonna have one of those days off, and I didn't, and I ended up having to like leave early to go to a lesson. And that's no fun at E3. What else?
Yeah.
Know what games you're interested in, like Peter said. Also, you know, don't be afraid to like talk to people and learn stuff. And I mean, nobody really cosplays at E3, so I wouldn't do that. It is mostly an industry thing. If you're going as an industry person, definitely dress like you're an industry person. I wouldn't cosplay to E3. A couple people do, especially if they're consumer people that had like connections and they got to go to E3. But yeah, definitely, you know.
One of the things that I thought was funny about E3 is having an industry badge doesn't entitle you to anything.
Nope.
It's a press show.
Yeah.
So me and Ian, we're walking around. We're you know, designer, environment artist. We're industry. You know, you know, we're like. What is it called? We're tooting our own horns and stuff, walking around like industry people, and then we want to see Elder Scrolls Online. We want to see all of these exhibits, and they're like press only, and I'm like, I'm part of the industry, dude. So yeah, you might want to get some press connections if you go, because it's not really a good experience for anyone in the industry outside of getting to meet other people in the industry that are, you know, manning their booths.
Yeah. I had a cool experience where I got to talk to some people who are working on like an app. It was a shooter app. I don't remember the name of it, even though it was a really cool game. And I was talking to them, and they were just really chill and really cool, and they were like, well, you know, if you ever come to Switzerland, we're hiring, and they were really nice people. They interviewed me and stuff, I guess, for their game, and they asked me what type of programs that I worked in, and I was a programmer, and to say what engines I worked in, and that was kind of cool. So,
cool.
Yeah.
So Catch. Yeah.
Did you try to go this year, or
so
what happened?
I did. I really wanted to, because for me, you know, I knew, but when I heard Bethesda was doing their E3 conference, I just wanted to be on site. That was a very big deal for me this entire year. So I started working for Sprint very recently, and that would have gotten me in with an industry badge, because they actually give me a Sprint email. Normally the school would, but because as a student worker, we don't get to access our emails, so I couldn't register correctly. So ended up not being able to go, because they don't allow students in anymore, with, you know, good reason, I suppose. But
yeah,
it was very, I'll admit, it was very disappointing, because they were like, you know, you guys were saying, know what games you want to see. And I knew my three. There's three things I wanted to go to see. It was anything Fallout related, mankind divided, and to see what Microsoft was basically going to be doing with the Xbox One. So I knew what I was going for.
I do have to say, with Xbox One and the PS4, yeah, I have to say, I played Journey, and Journey on the PS4 was freaking amazing. It looked and sounded so good. I was like nearly in tears. It was so good.
Oh, they have that. They're porting it to the PS4?
Yeah, they're porting it, and it was so beautiful. It was so goddamn good. It was really interesting, though. I could totally see that the sand was just a cloth. like you know, like in Unity with cloth effects and stuff.
Yeah.
The way that the sand was like moving, I was like, oh, it's a cloth.
That's gonna happen, you know. Everything we play from now on, we're gonna know how it works. I know I admitted to a lot of people that I met at the Portfolio show that when I play other games, you know, I can't help but play it as a designer and be all critical about
how was that made? How was that done?
Or just looking at the textures, for example. Like when I play older games or even just recent games, I'm just like, you could have done so much better with that texture. I know students that do those textures really well. So
yeah, I find myself doing stuff like that too. Or like I'll be playing with friends, and sometimes I'll be editing my YouTube videos too, and I'll just be like, why did you do that? Like, what is this? And I'll just be staring at a texture for like 15 seconds, 30 seconds, like trying to figure it out. And then I'm like, what am I doing? I'm playing a video game, and I'm just like, I'm gonna leave this now.
I'm pretty sure that's cost me at least 2 or 3 kill streaks in Battlefield, just running around and you stop and go, is that how you chose to do that? You couldn't, you know, just like, you didn't think this one through, did you? You know, it's you know, and you turn around and someone's like,
you didn't put a whole lot of effort into that, did you?
Yeah, you're like, you guys thought I wouldn't notice that, huh? But then again, you realize like you're the only person who noticed it, because as a designer or programmer, you know to look for these things because we know what's under the hood. So I definitely understand that. It's definitely cost me a good couple of lives.
Yeah, boom, headshot, double kill. Oh, I see you there. Triple kill. Wait, is that a bark texture? What?
Dead.
Yeah.
So guys, are you? I heard June's over. Are you Julying?
No, I'm not. I'm telling the truth. Okay,
I'm sorry. I just saw that pun and I had to.
I'm not going to respond to that.
Have you guys...
Listen,
have you guys ever had a moment where you treat real life like a video game? Like just for a split second?
I'm not sure.
Like, okay, for example...
I don't know if this is going towards a pun or if it's an actual question.
It's not.
Yeah, I'm treading lightly
question.
Because I don't want to end up on the wrong side of a conversation.
It's not a pun. It's not a pun. I promise.
Okay.
Okay, so here's my example. I was hiking once, and I had my camera out, and I was taking a picture of a waterfall. And as I was standing there, just like snapping pictures, my camera died, and I immediately, in my head, attempted to open up my inventory overlay and pull batteries out of my backpack by searching for the inventory button. And I stood there like a moron, staring at my camera and waiting for this inventory to pop up before I looked up and went, this is real life. This is not a video game. And then like walked away.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say to that. I don't think I've ever done it that bad, Monica. Like, I think the worst I've ever done was someone said something stupid and I said, pause, I'm going to quit life right now and restart later on. Like, that's like the worst I've ever done, you know? But that Monica right there is,
it's
you know
good.
what?
That takes
maybe
a
not so
much.
much. Yeah, I was gonna try to find an example, but you know what? No, I don't think I've done anything that severe before.
Yep.
Yeah, like the worst I've ever done is I stopped and looked at a tree and was like thinking about how it could be a texture and how I was unwrapping a tree, but that was about it. Like that's the only thing.
But that's natural.
Yeah, you know, I mean that's something that's common, but I've never stopped and looked at my phone. Like, where's my inventory button?
Yeah. No, it happened. It happened to me, and like the best part.
One would wonder
was,
if that's something to be proud of.
No, it's not. Another moment I had was I walked outside once after like live streaming, and the first thing I thought was, oh my god, it's in HD, and then I just stopped and was like, I'm gonna walk away and pretend I didn't just.
Jeez, Monica.
When I game, I like get sucked into the video game, and then I leave the video game, and I can't figure out what's reality anymore.
You know what? Yeah. I have done that before. I actually do. I've been taking lessons using Kali sticks. If you don't know those are the two sticks that Nightwing uses. So I've been doing that. And one day when I was moving, actually, it was cold because I like to do things early in the morning, and it was freaking freezing. And I opened the door, and if you don't know me or how I operate, Elder Scrolls is like my second life. So when it's cold, I'm carrying a weapon, putting on a jacket. I was just like, where's the nearest, carriage to Whiterun? And I'm sitting there like, did you really just think about that? Like, in the middle of LA, like, go home, you're drunk.
Yep. It's the right thing to think.
Cali Steak, shout out to my fellow Filipinos.
Woo! I'm not Filipino, but woo!
Woo!
Well, you're studying their martial art, and I'm proud of you for that.
Here's my last tangent. My new favorite... my attempt at my last tangent.
We're just having conversations right now.
Okay, well, this one's gonna go completely off on a tangent. So, my new favorite thing is shirts in Japan or other countries that do not speak English as a first language or hardly at all.
That is so random.
First of all, I thought that sentence was going to end a little earlier and just be shirts in Japan.
No. Shirts in Japan with English words on them. And it's like, you know how like in over here, I think we killed Kevin. You know how over here we have like shirts that'll have like Japanese words on them and they say something like gullible or stupid or something?
Yeah, you think you're getting a water tattoo and then it says like poop.
Yeah, exactly. In Japan, they have the exact same thing. Like, I saw this and it was amazing. There's like a shirt with some French fries on it, and underneath it says potato.
No, and there's like that's what they call it though. When you order fries in Japan, you call it potato.
Wait. But then like there are other shirts that say like hamper and world difference execute and precise dwarf bravery. Like, what does that mean?
So it kind of reminds me of, if you ever talk to Colin or you play online games a lot, it's you can also tell players from China or Japan typically have English words as gamer tags or PSN names that are just really basic words, but random? They don't. Yeah, like it's like holy milky? Screwdriver or something like that. It's like a random object, and it's just like, bro, like what is that? It's just they're kind of like really just names. You're like, okay, you got the name Screwdriver. That's like one of the million, but it's like, okay, it's so those shirts kind of make sense, I suppose, in a sense of gaming culture, if that's a thing.
Yeah. If that's your new favorite thing, though, Darkovika, you're gonna love English.com.
English.com?
Yeah.
It sounds amazing already.
It's just a list of everything that completely butchers English from other countries. Like, say, for example, this toy that I'm looking at, Popular Gun. It's what it's called. Popular Gun. And the tagline is... The pleasure are much many. I most like collecting all designs.
Perfect. Nailed it.
I mean, you can't really exclude America, though, when it comes to butchering the English language, because it's, I would say a good 47% of Americans don't speak English correctly.
Nope.
That 47% though.
I'm gonna be realistic. Like, it's kind of true. Like, the butchering of that language is very real, and it's real everywhere, not just other countries.
Absolutely.
You guys got me on English.com now. I'm looking at this sign. Okay, let's see what it says.
Before you do that, where was this podcast directed to? Because I think I've forgotten as well.
We're just kind of like in banter right now. I know I'm gonna move it forward with Darkovika's top 5, but at this point,
we don't
we're
need
just
to hear
having
that.
fun.
It doesn't involve the right games anyway. So
listen, Everybody heard our top 5. She deserves to be heard.
I'm just picking at her.
I know you are.
This
Mr.
picture,
Fallout 3, 4, whatever the fuck.
Okay,
this
home.
Picture I'm looking at. This picture I'm looking at on English.com is on an airplane, and the sign says, "No thanks, bicycles." So bikes not allowed. Nice try.
Yes, that's what it means. Clearly.
And then there's this billboard that says, "Life is only once plus money."
That's
you
the
only live
YOLO.
once. I guess so. You only live once plus money. YOLO Pim.
Okay, that's enough of English.com. Let's hear Darkovika's top 5 games or announcements from E3.
Right, so definitely Uncharted at the top. Horizon, which was a game announced before Uncharted 4. Definitely the Kingdom Hearts game, even though I didn't see it because I can already know I'm gonna love it. And The Walking Dead VR, and honestly, I think that's kind of it. I don't have a fifth one. I guess Fallout 4 comes afterwards because I do like Fallout. It's just not my favorite thing.
It better be on that list.
But those are the ones that I know of that are really good.
She's extending
Final Fantasy VII. I'm sorry. Fallout 4 gets booted off for Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, snap. Shots fired.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Fallout 4 gets booted off for Final Fantasy VII. And if they do not include the part where Cloud is wearing a dress, I will have words with someone.
Words will be spoken.
Words will be spoken. And they shall be angry. And probably with a British accent. I'm just saying.
Man, I can imagine, like, your first time at TGS, you run into Tetsuya Nomura, and you're like, listen, I have words, and they're going to reach your ears.
Yep.
Where was Cloud's dress sequence?
Exactly. Where was the section where I got to put Cloud in a dress and woo the fat guy?
You know what's funny?
I'm pretty sure that's going to be
Fallout 4 had a dress on there. He was wearing a red dress carrying a minigun, so there's your dress. That's why Fallout 4 should be on your list.
I think
there's just something about Final Fantasy VII that I need in my life.
You want guys in dresses? Fallout is full of it.
I think we can acknowledge that Fallout is on her top 10.
Yeah, it's on my top something list. I am excited for Fallout 4, and I probably will play it.
Probably is not good enough for me.
All I know is whatever happens, I'm getting a PS4, and whatever games don't come out on the PS4 is not being played.
I got the PS4, like...
I'm surprised you don't have a PS4. I'm a Microsoft guy.
I've been waiting for a game that I absolutely must have a PS4 for. And none of them have come out yet. So I haven't bought one yet.
What do you think I played Battlefield on?
I'm not a shooter person. I don't like first-person shooters.
Yeah, I was talking more the pizza there. Yeah, I have a PS4. I have quite a few games for it too.
Guys, my name is Element.
Oh yeah.
Well, she called me Kevin like 16 times. I don't even go by my first name, so there's that.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
We all family. We all family.
We all family here. We got no creepy people in my community yet.
I'd say we're probably the creepy people in the community. Actually,
I'm the only creepy people in the
Although
family.
Creepy people.
I do have to. I do have to admit, the other day I had a horrible shock. This is about to get rated R. On Tumblr, I went on and checked Tumblr for the first time in a very long time because I never checked my Tumblr, and it said I had a message. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I clicked it, and it took me 30 seconds before I finally realized that I was staring at someone's man bits. And
wow,
that was traumatizing. That was traumatizing. I sat there and I was like, what am I? Oh, God.
She said man bits.
Yeah, she did.
I did say man bits.
I'm probably going to isolate that sound clip at some point and put it on Instagram or
man bits.
Vine, whatever the social media platform is.
I can see that being part of that meme where the guy's like holding up his two hands and someone normally puts like a random word phrase underneath them, so he's just kind of going man bits. Yeah, it was man bits.
I'm just gonna put a picture of Exhibit, and then I'm gonna put like text saying, "Yo, dog, I heard you like man bits," and then Monica saying that in the background in Instagram.
Man bits.
Great.
And I'll make like the rebuttal like, "Yo,
great.
dog, I heard you like pockets." And I'll just send that your way.
That's.
I don't care anymore. I accept it.
Perfect.
Hey, just so you know, she was wearing those pants in that video where she was doing a call out on YouTube.
Oh, the Rooster Teeth one with my Harley Quinn pants?
Yeah.
Those are some pretty bomb pants.
They are.
All right.
Okay, so in order. So am I correct to assume in order? 5 is Final Fantasy 7, 4 is the Kingdom Hearts mobile game, 3 is the VR Walking Dead, 2 is Horizon, and then 1 is Uncharted 4. Would I be correct in that order?
I think so. Let me take a look at my notepad I got open here. Uncharted 4, Horizon, Kingdom Hearts, and The Walking Dead VR, and Final Fantasy 7. I'm not sure if it's in that order, though. Kingdom Hearts is probably at the top, if I'm being honest. Anything that gets released that has Kingdom Hearts written on it is just automatically going to be loved and adored by the Kingdom Hearts fandom. Because if we're honest, we're all nuts. Like, if anyone wants a loyal community, you don't have to look further than the Kingdom Hearts community, because it's just completely filled with diehards.
Well, one could argue that the Street Fighter community and the Fallout community,
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Just as loyal and diehard.
I mean, you can even go Call of Duty if you wanted to. I mean, even
maybe it's just because I've spent. Oh yeah, maybe it's just because I've spent so much time in the fan fiction side of the Kingdom Hearts community, but it's kind of scary how much they would kill for a Kingdom Hearts game. And it doesn't even need to be good. If it's a Kingdom Hearts game, they will fight to the ends of the earth for it. If it progresses any form of story.
You've spent almost your entire life engrossed in the Akuroku ship.
There you go. It's my first ship ever.
I just read that in a status update.
Yeah, I know. It was the
I'm
one
not going to
I was
pretend to
talking
know
with
the inner workings of that concept.
You probably don't want to know what ship Akuroku is.
Well, I know who it involves, but I just don't want to go into detail.
Yeah, probably not.
I think my first ship in gaming was
okay, I'm sorry.
Chrono.
This is going to be so unrelated, but Cryotic just released an image of an Amnesia storyline, and it's Simba. You are a human. You want to escape Simba's land. Like, this is the Lion King in Amnesia. You are so scared. You want to get out of this place. Simba is your worst nightmare. Simba hates you and wants you to be dead, but he keeps you alive so he can kill you later when he runs out of food. Be careful of his guards.
What was this game called?
This is in Amnesia. Do you guys know Amnesia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Amnesia, of course.
Amnesia: The Dark Descent. This is a mod someone created, like their own custom story, called Simba, where I guess you're running away from the Lion King.
Oh.
Okay. Well, it was cut off at first, so I didn't hear the beginning of that, but it sounded interesting the more you went into it, so.
Yeah.
Scorpion.
It's a bit strange.
I hate to throw it back, but my first ship was Chrono and Ayala from Chrono Trigger. Oh, are you guys that young? You don't remember Chrono Trigger?
I didn't start playing video games until like avidly. I was in 2006 grade, I think. So that'd be like 20. It's in the 2000s, so anything before that, dude, I'm gonna give you a nope.
I thought you said 2006th grade.
No, I said in 6th grade back in the 20s, and I kind of trolled off. I didn't know the exact date. So, I mean, in a sense, I have a lot of makeup work to do, which is why I play a lot of older games like Half-Life 2. I have the trilogy of the BioShock games. I do a lot of that. But I mean, for me, I fell in love with games when I played Morrowind. And that, I think, honestly, I swear to you, I'm like one of the few, because it's very few people, I think, who've beaten Morrowind in its entirety. Like every DLC, side quests, main quests. I don't meet many people who have like touched it that intensely. So it's 500 plus hours of reading. Like that's the problem. Most people I talk to can't take the reading or can't handle the combat or whatever. And for me, it's just like I didn't care. That was my entire 7th grade. My mother was like, "Don't you have friends?" I said, "Yeah, they're all in video game land." Like I was playing Morrowind from like day up and sundown to sun up. So
where's your friends? Well, she kind of died.
I took all
I was
her armor,
hanging out
though.
with her just like 5 minutes ago, and she died. So.
That was darn.
And by the way, note, Catch22. I think you said 7th grade or 7 years old or 7th grade.
7th grade.
7th grade. Catch22 touched intensely
Morrowind.
that game, Morrowind.
Yeah, I will own up to that. Yeah, I have 8 copies of that game, so I would say that it's a little bit of a
What?
Yeah. You think I'm kidding? Like, if you saw my collection of Elder Scrolls games, you guys would probably think I was like a little touched in the head. Like it's bad, and I can't give you a good reason why I have 8 copies of Morrowind, and it's like Game of the Year edition. It's like I have copy on Xbox 360, Xbox, the backwards compatible Game of the Year version. Then I have like the original for the original Xbox. I even bought an original Xbox like 3 or 4 months ago just to play the game again. Then I bought the anthology for PC, which gave me like another copy, which was the 8th, obviously. And it's really sad because there's no reason to have more than 2.
No.
Don't get me started how many copies
Just
of Oblivion
isn't.
I have. So just bypass that. And
I know I have multiple copies of Raven Shield. Well, that's because back in the day, I would get banned. And I would need a new CD key to keep playing. But,
yeah.
mistakes were made.
The running joke between my circle of friends back in high school was that I was going to buy enough copies of each Elder Scrolls game to melt down all but one and then mold, in this case, a paper mache or CD mache mask or helmet to wear while playing the game. Like when Skyrim came out, I actually left my room door open and the window open because it was directly to the outside all winter long, so it was freezing cold in my room by the time November 11th came around. So when I played the game at midnight, because of course I went to the launch like any fanboy would, sit outside of GameStop till midnight, whatever, got the game, went home, and played it well until I had to go to school the next morning and caught a cold. So I took 3 days off to, get over my sickness while playing Skyrim in an extra cold room, which was supposed to immerse me in the fact that Skyrim was snowing. So that's how bad it gets for me when Elder Scrolls come out. So if they say Somerset Isles or like, not Somerset Isles, but Hammerfell, whatever the sand dunes are there, you can probably bet that, yeah, it's going to be pretty hot in my house for a while I play whatever Elder Scrolls game, setting's going to be.
The sand dunes?
Not sand dunes, but desert lands is what I was going for.
A hot area.
Yeah, she knows. She
like
got
your
what
desert?
I meant. Yes, but no, just in general.
All I know is I'm probably gonna miss the colors of Oblivion because there was just something about those colors.
I hear that a lot, and I didn't like Cyrodiil that much.
I loved it. It was so beautiful and it was so perfect for me.
I think
there's a lot of colors in the SO.
I'm trying to avoid MMOs.
Yeah, the whole MMO thing it turns me off. Like I understand the game's probably really good and I would play it, but I don't do MMOs. It's just I'm missing out, but I'm just like
I never finish MMOs.
You can finish
That's
MMO.
the point. You can't finish.
I mean,
an
I
MMO.
never hit max level. I never finished the story. I never see it through. I just kind of play usually until like level 20 in a good MMO, and then I get bored or I create a new character.
Oh,
I see. I mean, only thing I would do in ESO anyway would just be, you know, a Master Thief, because that's what I yeah.
So I think that pretty much covers what we needed to cover in terms of what this episode was about. Do you guys have anything else to add?
I do. Our first episode, you did a little small portion where it's like, what are you doing, and as far as gaming go, and everyone kind of gave their spiel, and I said that I was, playing through certain RPGs and trying to give myself a certain time span. But life has its complications and all that stuff. Like, I had to move recently, find an apartment and a new job within a span of 4 weeks, which I did manage. So I'm still here and still in school and all that fun stuff. But I finished Fallout 3 and all its DLC. So I'm still doing the RPG playthroughs, and that has been done. So I finally finished Fallout 3, and I'm going to be moving on to the Witcher series or the BioShock series.
Nice.
So it's probably going to be the BioShock series. Got 1, 2, and 3 here for my roommate. What?
No, do the Witcher series.
Well, Johnny has been writing me about not having played some games, especially the BioShock series. More so, K anyway.
I would suggest the Dragon Age series.
Well, I hear Dragon Age 2 is not to die for, so I'm kind of putting that one off.
It's still something that's good to experience, though. Like, don't let people
I'm sure.
kill the game.
I heard that noise from Darkovika, and I immediately thought, this is how Kevin or Catch feels when she doesn't really give a crap about Fallout that much. She's like, I would give Dragon Age a try, and then he's like, well, I heard 2 was, and she was like,
he's right though. He's right though. Dragon Age 2 is not to die for. Like, I'm not disagreeing with him. I'm just saying, at this point in life, a lot of people have at this point made Dragon Age 2 sound like it's the worst game ever. And while it's not as good as Dragon Age 1, it's still a good game.
I'm sure. Like, my thing is I'm playing particular series that I know I'm going to invest a lot of time in. I'm doing it in order as people have, recommended, in a sense. So I know a lot of praise has gone to BioShock. A lot of people say the differences in the Witcher series as they progressed are something to, note through. And, the Mass Effect series would be on that list as well, but I've beaten that about 7 playthroughs, so I'm not touching that for a while. So I don't need to. So a lot of those games, I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of putting them in a certain order. And just with BioShock and The Witcher, it's like one is completely on PC, while the other I can easily do for my 360 using my nice couch and all that fun stuff. So it's just depending on where I want to go next. But so yeah, just want to throw that out there. I finished finished one series, and I'm moving on because I've already beaten Fallout New Vegas, and I don't have 1 and 2 or Tactics, unfortunately. But I feel like if I bought those and played those, that would last me until, well, November when Fallout 4 comes out, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I also have been well on my way working on the mod I mentioned, I think about 2 podcasts ago. Skyrim mod, dealing with a couple of lore-based guilds and such. So
that's right. I saw some of that, and it was, revealing.
It actually it doesn't really tell you much, because the only thing that really revealed, I mean, for anyone who, obviously those who don't know, we have a Facebook page for a couple of students at AI, but I posted a few images of some of the characters. One of them which shows a nightingale, but he actually won't be a nightingale in the actual mod. It was just because I was playing with the inventory and wanted him to look different than the rest. So I was like, nightingale, because no one wears that besides nightingale. So you're not gonna see that standing around in the open. So that's what that was for. The only one that really showed anything was the captain, and even then you only got his name, and that his name isn't habitual to the naming conventions of said race. So that's that. It wasn't very. I was very particular what I put out on that one. So yeah, just look for that stuff. Also, if anyone has been following my previous mods, the New Vegas ones, I have re-downloaded them all myself. I have looked through the tons and tons and tons of posts that people have asked for, whether it was renaming the Glocks to the actual Glock names or adding a different emblem type, removing laser sights and things like that. I've compiled a list of things that I'm going to do and of course things that I'm not going to do, but I'm going to release all of the gun pack mods and the radio station as one compilation. My schedule's before Fallout 4 comes out, but working with Skyrim Creation Kit and going back and forth from GEC, it's going to take a little bit of time. So just if you've been following those mods, there will be a compilation out that adds a vendor as well. I know people were complaining that they couldn't refresh their inventories correctly, but there's that. So there's that too.
Every time I hear the word compilation, I just think of, now that's what I call music. And so when you're pitching this, I'm like, oh, now that's what I call New Vegas mod.
I'm gonna use that.
What?
Oh jeez, I'm gonna use that because for all to make my mods easy to find, I put like they're kind of a series. So like the pistol packs are called I Love Pistols, and it says like the type of pistols. It's like I Love Pistols, Glock pack. I Love Pistols, Desert Eagle pack. They're all listed with a subheading. So probably for Skyrim, it's gonna be like now that's what I call a Skyrim mod, and then like the name of the mod. But it's just I could easily use that. But yeah, that's just for those who follow those mods made by Raw Champion or just know them by the name of I Love Pistol Pack. So those will be coming out with merge patch options too. So in case you have other mods that modify vendors, I'll go ahead and of course list how to do that as well. But my mods will be sold by a specific vendor wearing the armor everyone keeps asking me to give out, which I've directed you, but I'll also put that in there as well. So it'll all be there for you to use.
All right, well, send me the link. I'll put it in the description below.
Awesome.
Cool.
I know. I just finished. I think last week. No, yeah, last week. I had finished a live stream for Life is Strange episode 3. And
nice
what?
That's a very nice game.
Yeah, have you played it?
I have not played it myself, but I sat with a friend while we kind of did a playthrough, and we were kind of messing around, and I've got a pretty good idea of what goes on and seeing what happens in the game. I haven't bought it because I'm too lazy to buy it, but
Have you seen or played episode 3 at all?
I'm trying to get that spoiled. Is that the one where
don't give too much away,
to your friend?
I only just
I'm trying to pick and choose, but is it the one? Is that the episode we have to prove to your friend that you have said powers?
Yeah.
In the cafe? Yeah, and that's the one we were sitting there playing.
Well, no, that's episode 2.
Okay,
I
then
think
3.
Episode 3, it's kind of established that she does have the powers. Yeah, without saying too much, Darkovika, I know that you're doing a Let's Play on it as well.
Yep.
When you get to... Oh, man. This episode is really going to hit you in the heartstrings. And that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, good.
That's all I'm going to say. Because, I think a lot of people already have posted their reactions to it. It's on that level. It's on that Walking Dead type of finale level where people post reactions of how they reacted to the final moments of that episode for that game. So be prepared.
Oh boy.
Brace yourself, because if you are at all an emotional person when it comes to immersing yourself in the story, it's gonna.
I am. You should see me when I play Crisis Core.
If you did a Let's Play, then I shall.
I don't think I could do a Let's Play on that one, but I mean, like I have a Instagram photo somewhere of me just in tears after beating Crisis Core for like the 13th time.
Oh, if that's a tearjerker for you, then this is probably gonna make you ball up in your blanket and.
I don't know. Have you guys ever played Crisis Core?
Well, but I was going to try to get a comparison because I shed a single tear, when one of the Makos in Mass Effect 3 blows up in the face of your companion if you take your love interest with you, and they have this scene where you're like, get her on the ship because she's like fatally wounded, or if you're gay, that could have been whatever male, but whatever the case is, your love partner's in the ship. For me, as a female, it's like, you know, get her on the ship because she's injured, and she's like, I love you, and he's like, I'll be back. She's like, you better return. He's like, yeah, well, and he just runs off, and I was just like, tear. So I was like, if that made me like, you know, I was like, how are these tear-jerking matters gonna affect someone like that?
Crisis Core is like taking an anvil and shoving it into your chest. That's Crisis Core.
Okay. Well, I mean, taking the severity of that and putting it in a game where your choice matters, and accepting the consequence of your choice, and that's how much it's going to hit you. So, yeah, take that with you when you play through episode 2 and episode 3. Episode 3 is by far the best episode, probably, and it raises Life is Strange up to one of the best games that I've played. And that's not a light, you know, thing to say, because I've played a lot of games. So be prepared for that, and I can't wait to see your reaction when you post it up.
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys, if you like tearjerkers, you need to play To the Moon.
I don't like tearjerkers.
Oh my god.
I like blowing stuff up.
Then don't go near To the Moon, because that game's gonna rip out your heart and step on it.
Is that an animation or an animated one?
No, it's an RPG Maker one.
Oh. No, yeah, it isn't, but is it?
It doesn't have any animation, no. It has none.
I mean, like cartoon. 2D.
It doesn't have any 2D art. Oh, you mean like the characters? Because it's all 2D pixels. But there's no overlay, there's no... If anything, they're just stills for cutscenes.
Oh, yeah. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. It's not animation, but alright. Hey guys,
wow.
Why don't you hear knock-knock jokes about America?
Because the door's always open.
No, because freedom rings.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Just to try to save the rest of this episode. What have you played recently, Darkovika, if at all, anything?
I was playing some Rune Factory 4 on my 3DS, and I was playing around with Tyranno Builder because I was really excited to make my own visual novel because that's hella cool.
I saw that.
I made my way back to this. Yep, visual novels are amazing. I do need to learn how to draw though, because I can't draw to save my life.
Oh, you should make an English one.
A what? Oh, just all completely badly translated. I was playing some Sword Art Online at one point on my PS Vita, and that was really cool. Sword Art Online, the video game, is interesting because the translation is absolutely horrible and the story tanks, but the gameplay is addicting as fuck. It feels so good. It feels like an MMO, and it just feels...
Damn.
Yeah, the gameplay is amazing, but the story is absolutely awful. It's pretty much a harem game, and it's really awkward. And I hate the cutscenes because they're all just really awkward and all of the girls are annoying as fuck.
When Darkovika curses.
Yes?
Sorry. I was thinking back to Priority 1 and doing the whole...
Mother of a shit.
Yeah, and it...
Shit on it too.
I posted something on Instagram. I don't know if any of your fans saw it, or if anybody that listens to this podcast saw it. If you follow me on Instagram, it's at ElementXStyle. I posted a clip from Get Hard, which is Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell, and it reminded me so sweetly of Darkovika and her cursing methodology.
Yes.
So Will Ferrell says, "Fuck someone. Fuck someone hard. Fuck a tit." And I was just like...
Darkovika does not curse very well.
Yeah. The School of Darkovika. Will Ferrell, I can't believe you went to it. So, that's that.
There we go. And then otherwise, I think that pretty much covers everything as far as gaming goes. It's just mostly handheld things that I was doing, like Tamagotchi Life, Rune Factory 4, a lot of work, because I work 2 jobs now.
Yes.
Yeah, I work a full programming job, and then I do teaching on Thursdays and Fridays, and also 1 lesson on Tuesdays. And it's pretty insane. There's not a whole lot of free time left over, usually, when I get home.
It's getting to that point. I just completed, or not completed, I just got done with a few phone interviews for game designer positions, so hopefully that will pan out and I will be a full-fledged game designer so I can start writing off this PS4 and any other game purchases.
Yeah, right?
You can do that if you don't know, by the way. If you are in...
I did it this year, actually, earlier.
You already wrote off some gaming stuff?
Like some of the laptop and software purchases I had to make, yeah.
Kicking.
Cool. So, yeah, that's probably going to wrap it up for us guys for this week. Leave in the comment section below what you guys want us to talk about in the next episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all of that good stuff. Our information is down below in this description. Catch, do you have anything you want to say to the audience?
Other than what I said earlier, nope. That'd be it for me.
Darkovika?
I'm all set. There's going to be continuations of series coming up, and everything's going hunky-dory on the channel. In fact, everything's fantastic.
Cool. And can we expect you to be a regular on the show?
I think so.
We're glad to have you on board.
Me too.
Always.
All right, guys, until next time, which is in 2 weeks. See ya.
All right, see ya.
Bye.